Ukrainian fire-spitting drones are the newest thing in Ukraine now. More footage of the Dragon fire-spitting drone by Wild Hornets. And now we can see the damage from an incendiary mixture in a Russian trench that was attacked by a Ukrainian Dragon drone.
Так вот, с дронов, что типа напалма, выжигают вот сети.
Вот последствия. Чем-то жгут нахуй. То ли фосфор, или что, блядь. Хуйня какую-то справа разбрызгивает. Блядь, еле успели потушить нахуй. Ну, какая дырка. Хуячит.
Everything that is happening now is treachery. Traitors are sitting in the Kremlin. Z-blogger 13th Yegor Guzenko, with more than 300,000 subscribers, posted several video messages in his Telegram channel, where he spoke harshly about the Kremlin and the current Russian government, as well as indirectly about Putin.
Ну и мое мнение такое. 30 лет назад развалили Союз. Ельцин продался Америке. И все, что сейчас происходит, блядь, ну, это все предательство. Предатели сидят в Кремле. Все, точка, блядь. Падают самолеты, происходят взрывы, убирают неудобных, сажают по тюрьмам, блядь, делают все, что хотят. То есть, ну, парни, как бы, мы должны понимать, что, возвращаясь с фронта в мир, ну, по факту, блядь, война не заканчивается, нахуй. Ну, она и не закончится. И приказа, возможно, уже никто никогда не отдаст. Потому что отдавать его некому, блядь. Потому что предатели захватили страну. Все. У меня другого слова больше нет, блядь. Если на таких людей, как Александр Валерьевич, возбуждаются уголовные дела, Гиркин сидит в тюрьме, тоже можно к нему по-разному относиться, но тем не менее у человека столько за спиной. Все, блядь, у меня других больше слов нет, блядь. Это все предатели ебаные, блядь, конченые. И мне кто-то говорит, бля, ты не боишься там говорить там и так далее, тебя ж могут там посадить, закрыть нахуй. Ну и что, вы нас всех попересажаете, попереубиваете нахуй? Нас много, блядь, нас целая страна, блядь. А вас там кучка сидит нахуй, вы уже старые, скоро поумираете нахуй. А мы молодые, мы разберемся. И я своего мнения никак не поменяю по поводу вот этой всей истории. Даже если с Александра Валерьевича снимут обвинение, я мнение своего не поменяю. Потому что все, что происходит, блядь, говорит об этом. Если бы в самом начале хуярили мосты, блядь, железнодорожные и вообще все, блядь, пути, нахуй, поставок им боеприпасов и техники, блядь, то всего бы того, что сейчас происходит, блядь, вообще не было. Если бы 10 лет назад, блядь, один бы дедушка не обосрался, блядь, и пошел бы, блядь, как говорится, блядь, по-честному, нахуй, а не втихую мы там лазили, нахуй, а по-честному, блядь, пошли бы в 2014 году, блядь, 10 лет назад, то всей этой хуйни бы не было, и пацанов бы столько не погибло, блядь, а теперь вы, блядь, и нас сажаете и убиваете.
Interesting story from a Russian mobilized man titled Mistakes at War about the new battalion commander's decision to relocate mortars closer to infantry, which led to devastating losses from Ukrainian drones, resulting in more casualties in 3 weeks than in the previous 2.5 years. The shortage of qualified personnel on the Russian side is real. About mistakes at war. Not long ago, our battalion commander was replaced. The previous one, a cautious pre-war lieutenant colonel, was replaced by a 25-year-old senior lieutenant. The old commander had many issues, particularly with coordinating between units. There was barely any. We hoped things would improve, but it turned out things could get even worse. One of the first bold decisions by the new commander was to move the mortars closer to the infantry. At first glance, the advantages were obvious: increased accuracy, reduced flight time for the rounds, and ultimately, more enemy losses. What could go wrong? The key issue was the dominance of enemy drones, especially kamikaze drones. The mortar battery suffered its first loss while searching for new positions. A gunner from one of the crews was killed. He was 30 years old, mobilized, and hadn't had time to start a family. He often said he wouldn't return to the war after his leave, having grown tired in his second year. But he did come back. He and his platoon commander were moving through the trees looking for a new spot. a slow and difficult task. Nobody likes being near mortar crews. Of course, they were spotted. A kamikaze drone struck, and it didn't stop there. Another crew was hit while relocating. More losses. One soldier died, and the commander lost a leg. Both were 25. The one who died was an anime fan. Didn't drink. They had signed contracts before the war instead of doing the usual 2 years of mandatory service. They had been serving for 5 years. The real problem after moving positions was delivering 120mm mortar rounds. For those who don't know, each round weighs 16 kilograms. A soldier in full gear can carry one round over several kilometers. A full trip for the crew equals 5 rounds, and to stay operational, they need about 20 rounds daily. This kind of resupply is more manageable with 82mm mortars, where the rounds weigh 3.5 kilograms. With those, 2 runs a day are usually enough to keep going. The familiar Ural truck couldn't reach the new positions anymore, and the Chinese buggies frequently broke down due to harsh, constant use. The crews found their own solutions. At first, one soldier got a dirt bike, but after 5 days, it broke. He went to the nearest village for spare parts and was killed by a kamikaze drone on his way back. He was over 30, a new contract soldier who had joined in January 2024. Another crew member bought a motorcycle in Donetsk while on a break from his position. He managed to deliver 60 rounds over 3 days. Then another drone hit, and he suffered leg injuries, including a compound fracture. He was nearly 40, a volunteer who had served in the Second Chechen War and signed a 4-month contract in September 2022, extended automatically. After that, they resorted to carrying rounds on foot one at a time. This led to more losses, 3 dead within days. One of them was the platoon commander who had been scouting new positions with the gunner earlier. He was a pre-war contract soldier, careful and experienced, having served in Syria, Tajikistan, and Armenia. He had just been promoted to junior lieutenant. Last October, during the second assault on Avdiivka, he and the gunner had knocked out a tank with their mortar. He wasn't even 30. The second casualty was another 30-year-old veteran with 2 small children, a native Bashkir, clever and resourceful. The third was another pre-war contract soldier, a university graduate, quiet but dutiful. The only consolation is that all the bodies were quickly recovered with their documents. We don't leave our own behind. I apologize for this requiem, but this was my battery. I served with them for over a year. 2 more were lightly wounded and sent to the hospital but stayed within the war zone. In just 3 weeks, the battery suffered more losses than in the previous 2.5 years. In effect, we lost 2 trained crews.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.